Now, going over to the culture part of the podcast, you have Planet Fitness allegedly having a male employee watching a female customer in the locker room topless. Which, I mean, I don't think we should be too surprised. Their name has been dragged through the mud for a couple months now. Planet Fitness probably has two policies that I think are most controversial of all the things they do. In addition to being a rudimentary gym that actually doesn't want people to actually get fit and work out, where they have an alarm bell ring if you make too much noise or actually push yourself. So in addition to them being inept in terms of not being a good place to actually get fit, they have a couple things working against them in terms of the culture perspective people are taking into account. One of the most controversial things is they allow biological men to change in women's locker rooms. Now, the more horrifying thing is that many of these gyms actually have that same policy, including LA Fitness, including 24-hour fitness. And again, for women's safety and common sense, most people would say, no one gives a damn what you do in the bedroom, but a locker room at a gym probably doesn't make the other sex or gender feel comfortable. Probably want a little bit of privacy, especially when there are children in those rooms as well. So that was a big point of controversy. They also had another thing where they would allow employees to wear pride swag all year round. However, if you wanted to display something like an American flag, that's only appropriate for 1 or 2 or 3 days a year. So those two things were the biggest controversial things we've seen in Planet Fitness in the past 12 months. Now, this was brought to us thanks to Libs of TikTok, in which she says, more Planet Fitness fails. Woman claims she was topless in the Planet Fitness women's locker room, and a male employee was there looking at her. She went to the desk, and they brushed her off. Planet Fitness isn't safe for women and girls. Stay away. Wait. I was going to say, this gal's voice is infinitely better than mine, of course. Granted, the bar might be very low, some might argue. But it's only about a minute 23. We'll go ahead and I'll see what her side of the story is.
Trying to be dramatic.
Oh, come on now.
Trying to be dramatic, but I'm literally shaking. 3 days a week, I go to the same gym and I change in the locker room, and it's always the same fucking thing. Well, today, as I was changing and I was topless, I look over and a man that works at the fucking gym is coming out of the women's restroom. And he looked at me.
A little bit late for it, but apologies. Have earmuffs on if you are having children listening. Granted, this isn't a children-friendly topic as well.
And we made eye contact, and I am not trying to be dramatic, but I did not have a shirt on, I did not have a bra on, and I just feel really...
I was going to say, I was freaked out. I thought she was driving. I think she parked now, but I digress.
Violated that he saw me. I go to this gym all the time. I change in the women's locker room, which means I am accepting a risk that other women might see me, and I am okay with that, but I just feel like really yucky that a man saw part of my naked body that I did not want to see my naked body. And I totally embarrassed myself because it was hard for me to like come down. And again, I'm really not trying to be dramatic, but it was hard for me to come down from it. And I just went to the front desk and I was like, that's fucking unacceptable. And I basically went off and cussed this dude out. And then the chick at the front desk, she's like, ma'am, like he was talking to you calmly. I'm like, this is a big fucking deal. And also at this gym, they have a free membership for teenagers all summer. I'm like, what if that had been an underage girl who was just, I don't know. I think I'm just triggered, but it just really upset me. And it upset me that like they were so nonchalant about it as if it's not a big deal. I think it is a big deal.
Well, I mean, for them it isn't. It's like company policy. And it's disgusting.
Trying to be dramatic.
I mean, personally, I think it's disgusting that it happens. Well, I was going to say it's one of the main reasons I don't patron there. I also am very fortunate to the point where, like, I rent a house for mostly for work in terms of square footage, but I was able to get myself a little, small little treadmill and a little bench press, so I just work out at home. But yeah, one of the main reasons I know many of my friends don't patronize that gym anymore is because of these policies we've known that for about a year. Again, this isn't victim shaming. I feel bad for her. But I'm not surprised that the employee at the front desk wasn't concerned for her safety. Let's just say that much. And this went pretty viral. Got 1.2 million views and 21,000 likes. Now, one of the first comments comes from Gunther Eagleman saying, quote, Planet Fitness needs to be bankrupt. Unacceptable business practices, getting 1,000 likes. Paul Suzupa says, we need a real DOJ that will do something about these attacks on women. Which, I mean, now that's the thing. I don't know what the Department of Justice would do unless they had a new federal law. Because, again, this is a private-based business. Now, granted, I don't agree with this policy. It'll be interesting to see if the federal government ever actually does get involved in it. And because, again, it'd be very interesting to see how these gyms navigate this as well, because many states have different laws on this, and most of these gyms are all over the United States. I don't know if the DOJ will take this topic on. Maybe if Trump gets elected, there'd be a higher propensity that that would happen. But right now, no way. I don't think that would happen from a federal perspective. You have private citizen saying we shouldn't have to live like this. Is a perv in a what is that? The rain jacket, the flash jacket, which I don't think we've seen since like the 1950s. When was the last time you saw one of those? Little ADHD question. And he has a vote Democrat shirt under it. He has a camera. He's walking to the women's restroom. He says, "Relax, I'm transgender." It got 376 likes. Gizmo says, "Planet Fitness isn't safe for women and girls. Stay away." And in this picture of Planet Fitness, it says, "Planet Fitness, where we encourage men to use women's bathrooms." That got 427 likes. Scrolling down more and more. I Love American News says, "The Planet Fitness by my house has free workouts for all 14 to 17-year-old children all summer. Know where your kids are." Yeah, that's quite concerning. That got 360 likes. Got a little cartoon of a man in a women's locker room. It says Planet Fitness. He says, "Don't stop undressing." That's transphobic. Got 222 likes. Let's see. Red Wave Press, which I was about to say A plus for marketing. However, it is in fact a red wave, but it is not falling upon an old vintage printing press, which to me would make an A plus for marketing. But I partially digress. This alleged Red Wave Press says Planet Fitness is not safe for women. Give them a Bud Light and a Tractor Supply treatment. Getting 590 likes. Now that being said, I don't, especially right now, not gonna hurt their sales much. Again, when it comes to gyms, a vast majority of all their revenue and profit comes from January because everyone makes these New Year's resolutions. And again, it's very profitable for the gym because more often than not, unfortunately, many people do not stick to those resolutions. So they'll sign up, they'll allow their membership to get charged every month, but they don't actually utilize the materials in the gym. So there's no depreciation on the machines. And it's a very profitable business if you can build up that customer base. And again, if all these controversies happen in like early January, that's where I think you might see a change in the business. However, that being said, a lot of the national chains of gyms, they have the exact same policies. So that's why we saw the stock went down to like 400 million when the first news broke out months ago when it came to this policy coming to public in terms of men's and women's locker rooms. But then the stock was bought by people in the cheap. So long-term stock's pretty much about the same. Going down more and more. Let's see, saying contrary news. Booker 9 says they blocked me a while ago when I asked why do they let men dressed as women go inside the women's locker room? And it's Planet Fitness saying he's been blocked. Got 99 likes for that. Of course, Planet Fitness has a little pride logo in that one. Now, interestingly enough, Planet Fitness has also not posted since February this year, which in terms of social media, that's like 150 years, relatively speaking. Especially if you're a business like that where you have vast amounts of resource allocation, you probably have a couple people full-time dedicated like per social media platform. Allegedly, they probably just don't do anything now. I got 99 likes. Let's see, is any contrarian statements? 401 says leave Planet Fitness period, getting 36 likes. Rayon J says, yes, this is totally a big deal. How could they think this is okay? She's absolutely right. That got 100 likes. Not seeing any contrarian statements. And again, there are some people who might go to these gyms because of this policy. Mostly creeps, but in my opinion. But again, a lot of people in San Francisco probably agree with this. I wonder if these policies really do increase their overall sales. Because again, you also have your ESG rating if you're publicly traded. I mean, a lot of the financial institutions and hedge funds will invest in you because of your social policies. So maybe, but I can't help but think all these policies are just alienating more current and prospective customers than ever. I don't see how it's profitable for them. And you can tell, I mean, when was the last time I actually went there? I don't think I've walked inside. I did tour Planet Fitness once when I first moved out of the apartments a couple years ago. Looked at a couple, and yet they didn't really impress me that much from it as a gym perspective either. But let me know in the comments. When's the last time you actually went to a Planet Fitness? And because of this policy, again, being reinforced, would you ever go again? Let me know in the comments, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.